This video is sponsored by Squarespace, the place to go to for creating your own slick-looking website or online store. This right here is probably the best APS-C camera that money can buy. It's the Fujifilm X-T4. Oh yes! This is probably the best APS-C camera money can buy, and this is looking likely to be my next buy. Why? Because I want to get a camera that isn't just good at one thing. Elbow nudge GH5, you great movie-taking, mediocre photo-taking machine. I want to get a camera that can take video and photos really well. Hence, this. I first tested a pre-pro unit way back in February, getting hands-on fingerless mitten middle-class hobo style. Just bringing the community together. You know, in harmony. Even the police looked a bit confused. Anyway, tried it back then and got a chance to handle the launch unit during lockdown. Yay! Without fingerless mittens. But if we're talking crop, then there's really just one major alternative. The A6600 is the highest end crop censored Sony mirrorless camera. It's pretty stealthy too, because it looks just like the cheap low end ones. Which one is the A6600? I mean, seriously, I'm actually asking for your help. I forgot to label the photos. You probably won't make that same mistake with Fuji's, mainly because the name is written quite boldly on the front of the camera right there, but placement and fonts aside, they're both essentially the cream of the crop of the mirrorless world. You see what I did there? But why would I choose the Fuji over the Sony? Just why? Why? Tell me why. And I'm going to tell you right now. I use Sony for filming home, so the A6600 should make sense for me, right? Well, not quite. Psst, you can't dodge the camera when you're holding it. Apart from the obvious attraction of those fancy aperture, shutter speed and ISO dials, the body itself just feels better ergonomically. Although I wouldn't advise holding the camera like this, especially with a history of dropping cameras like myself. Although they're both quite blocky cameras and the Sony has a deeper grip, the X-T4 is bigger and feels more substantial and thus has a better grip in the hands because there's more camera to it. And also, because there's more space, it doesn't feel like your thumb and your palm will accidentally press the buttons when you're gripping the camera. I mean, I get that mirrorless cameras have to be small and compact, but sometimes it's nice to have a camera that you can grip with all 5 fingers and not pinch like a crab. I mean, even with me, I have skinny ass witch hands and the pinky always slips off the edge. Small, lightweight bodies, cool, yes, but only if you have a small, lightweight lens on it as well. And the A6600 grip has been sized up already because of the Z battery. Alright, no need to whisper, the embargo's lifted already. The A6600 might be beefier, mainly because of the Z battery, which bumps up the battery life to over 800 shots, which is better than X-T4. Still, with the Fuji you can add a battery grip for more power and grip. Sony doesn't have an official grip for the A6600. But if you prefer a good grip with better balance, I think the X-T4 is it. Plus that bigger size means that the card slot isn't hidden where the battery compartment is. That's a bit confusing because A6600 was sort of aimed as a high-end crop sensor cam. Then you put the card in like you would with an entry-level camera. Talking about card slots, if we're comparing slot to slot, then the Fuji wins because it's a tag team of slots, clotheslining the battery compartment hidden Sony slot. Enough of the wrestling metaphors. Anyway, both UHS-2, hot swappable, and this bit's detachable for, I don't know why. Probably for video geeks, I guess. The main thing that's a bit disappointing with X-T4 is that you have to use the USB-C port to connect to headphones, unless you have the battery grip. And I don't really want to carry around an adapter that's just going to get lost anyway. Take a bow, Sony. And as I said before, I need it to take video as well. These YouTube videos, so I need this tilty flippy screen here so I can see my face while recording video. I mean, having said that, I do quite like the screens that flip up a la A6600 because they feel more solid, and also if you find yourself accidentally checking yourself out on the screen, it doesn't look like you've got something more important to be doing. There's a spider web up there. Better clean that. As much as I'd like to like it, the flip-up screen just feels like it belongs on a compact camera. And once you put a mic on the hot shoe, it renders the screen completely useless. I don't believe the main intention of a fully flippy screen is for still selfies with a high-end APS-C cam. It's for video shooters, so Fuji does it better here. The algorithms for the AF has been improved so it's quicker. Apparently it's as good as anything else on the market. Sony? I still think the Sony has better autofocus for photos and video. It's just ever so good. With continuous autofocus, it just seems to know exactly what to focus on, like it uses some kind of dark magic or some shit. But the focus on X-T4 is still excellent. It mostly keeps up, even in dimly lit rooms. I say mostly because there were times when the face/eye detection didn't quite pick up, most noticeably from the right side of my face. Maybe it thinks I look better from the left side. But the right side of my face wasn't as well lit, so perhaps that is why. Anyway, for stills in 15 FPS bursts and crap lighting, the face/eye detection does a sterling job of picking up on face and eyes, obviously, but the focus sometimes lags behind when you're shooting in that insane 15 FPS burst. That works out fine for street photography when the subjects are walking on the street, but I did shoot some faster subjects which I totally forgot to put in the last video. Late night editing to meet embargo brain.
Hi, my name is Usman.
Yeah. Professional sprinter, of course, aren't you?
Just lie. That's what I do.
There we are. Okay, now let's test the auto-focusing out with the new X-T4. Okay, let's put this on continuous high, 15 FPS. That's not bad, is it?
Am I running from that way to this way?
Yep, just from there to here. Ready when you are. By the way, the quieter shutter is so nice. Oh, yes. Mostly right, but there were a few frames in between that just couldn't keep up. Wow, the dude must have been cold. I said something in the first look video that might have confused.
Shot, isn't it? Just as well because I've got about 300 of them now.
I just said that for effect, I can't count that fast. I would have got 145 shots max as I was shooting JPEG. Compressed RAW returns much lower. I got 33 compressed RAW before I decided enough was enough and needed to have a nap. A66 buffer will allow 99 JPEG or 46 RAW before it conks out for the count. I do feel with the updates of the X-T4 it certainly focuses a lot more on the video side of things. It has a tally light and a dial to conveniently flick between video and stills mode with separate menus. It makes navigating menus a lot easier, Sony, and keeps settings separate, although if you're using the shutter speed dial, the shutter speed can't be different when you switch between stills and movie mode. Yeah, neat touches, but the stabilisation, which is also good for 6.5 stops of extra anti-cat-candid shakiness, works wonders for video. It's almost as good as the GH5s. That stabilisation can get you some ridiculously usable, slow shutter speed shots, but I think this is also the best video IBIS for an APS-C camera that I've seen. It's very slick. Mostly it's very smooth, but there are times when you can see it tries to overcompensate the movement. It works quite well when doing some handheld filming like this, but with an OIS lens and IBIS, it's sufficient enough for walking vlogging shots without looking too jarring. I probably wouldn't bother with a digital IS and IS boost if I'm honest, especially as you're just cropping it further. And one thing worth noting is that the 10-24mm, which is the lens for vlogging, has OIS. And it has very low rolling shutter, far superior to the Sony, which is like jello, not far behind the GH5. It's a very good video mode. I still don't like the stepping auto ISO, but love the video that you get from the X-T4. So what I'm saying is, if it wasn't made completely clear enough, is that the X-T4 is really rather good. It is as complete a package as you can get for a crop sensor camera. It offers photo performance perks of much more expensive cameras. 15 FPS mechanical can only be outdone by the One EX3, and that's by 1 FPS. Nice, but then, like most massage parlours, you can't always expect a happy ending. Here's why the X-T4 might not be worth getting. Number 1, it's not Sony enough. The X-T3 is still available, which is good enough. Number 3 is the X-H1, which can be had for complete bargain if you can find one now. It has a lot of the goodness when it comes to stills, but X-T4 has out X-H1 the X-H1 by adding IBIS, which the X-T3 didn't have, but X-H1 did, and outbursting it. It has a flip screen. I mean, it almost seems like there's more hate for flip screens on a Fuji than with any other camera. And essentially, most of that boils down to how much it costs. The 5th reason is price. Now, at around 2.2k for the kit, that's $600 more than an A6600 kit. That can buy a lot of face masks. Or you could just use your underpants and use the money on camera gear. Tough decision. But in my mind, the biggest problem is partly price, but the competing camera wouldn't be crop. It's full frame. You can get a mid-range full frame Z6 kit or Canon EOS RP. You can get 2 of them if you don't mind having video more crop than APS-C. Maybe it's easy for me to say since I own cameras with full frame sensors and half full ones, but it shouldn't always be about aspiring to full frame. Get the camera that has the right features to help you get the shot that you want. With the X-T4, they managed to tick so many boxes that a photographer content creator might require of a camera. Fast burst, quick and accurate autofocus for photos and video, flippy screen for filming, great looking video with low rolling shutter, 4K 60. They pretty much put everything in it that's worth putting in it. It is the complete package. Squarespace, you may or may not be familiar with it. You probably are if you watch my vids because, you know, I mention it quite a few times. But if you want to set up your own website, online store, or just your own domain, there's a free 14-day trial and a 10% discount off your first order. If you don't know what it's all about, why use Squarespace? It makes setting up a website super simple and with 24/7 customer service just in case you get stuck. Also, there's a whole load of templates to choose from. Pick it, customize it, build your website. Dead easy to do. So if you want to make your next move with Squarespace today, then there's the discount down below and of course the 14-day free trial. Thanks for watching. See you again. Bye bye.